There is something inside you that already knows you deserve more. It feels that life can be different. It whispers in the quiet moments that a freer version of you exists, a fuller version, a more deeply loved version. And today, in this precise instant, as you hear these words, something inside you is awakening, something that perhaps slept beneath the weight of worry and old wounds and beliefs that someone once planted in your mind without asking your permission. That awakening is not a coincidence. It is not an accident. It is the universe responding to you. It is life recognizing you. It is your soul telling you that you are exactly where you need to be to begin transforming everything you have known until today. Because true transformation does not begin in the outer world. It does not begin in circumstances. It does not begin in the people around you or the places where you live. The transformation that lasts, the one that changes you from the roots, begins in a place you carry with you everywhere, yet very few people dare to explore with honesty and with love. That place is your mind. It is the sacred garden where every thought is a seed, and every word you speak to yourself is either water or poison, and every belief you hold is either fertile ground or dry and barren earth. That's Louise Hay, that extraordinary woman who transformed millions of lives around the world through her wisdom and her courage and her unconditional love, taught us something that changed forever the way we understand human suffering. She taught us that the thoughts we think and the words we use literally create our life experiences. That every time you tell yourself you are not enough, that you do not deserve love, that money is difficult to obtain, that relationships always hurt, that your body is sick, or that life is a struggle, you are planting seeds in the garden of your mind that will in time blossom into precisely those experiences. But she also taught us that you have the absolute power to choose different thoughts and different words and different beliefs. Yea, and that this choice, repeated with love and with consistency, can heal your body and attract beautiful relationships and open the doors of abundance and fill you with an inner peace that no external circumstance will ever take from you. Imagine for a moment that your mind is an immense garden stretching as far as the eye can see, with deep and dark soil, ready to receive whatever you decide to plant in it. And for years, perhaps without knowing it, you have been sowing in that garden the seeds that others placed in your hands, seeds of doubt and fear and inadequacy and shame and guilt, seeds that someone gave you when you were a child and that you, with the innocence of one who trusts their elders, planted without question. And those seeds grew slowly but with deep roots and became the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you deserve and what is possible for you. But today, in this moment of grace, you have the opportunity to look at that garden with new eyes, with the eyes of love, with the eyes of someone who knows they can pull out the weeds gently, without violence, without hatred towards themselves, and plant in their place new seeds, seeds of self-love and trust and health and prosperity and joy and peace. At seeds called positive affirmations that Louise Hay devoted her entire life to cultivating and sharing with the world because she herself lived them, because she herself experienced in her own body and in her own life the healing power of choosing thoughts of love over thoughts of fear, of repeating words of life rather than words of death, of holding beliefs that expand rather than beliefs that imprison. Louise Hay arrived in this world carrying deep wounds, wounds that many of us know well, though perhaps with different names and different faces. She lived a childhood marked by abandonment and violence and poverty and abuse. She carried those wounds for years without knowing that another way of relating to them existed, until life led her through a path full of unexpected turns to discover that thought is the most powerful tool a human being possesses. That self-love is the most potent medicine that exists. And that forgiveness, not the forgiveness that justifies the harm, but the forgiveness that sets you free, is the master key that opens every door that fear has closed. And with that understanding, she wrote her most famous work, You Can Heal Your Life, a book that has touched the hearts of millions of people across the world. A book that speaks not of magic or of miraculous formulas, but of something far deeper and far more real. I'm saying it speaks of the connection between what you think and what you live, and it speaks of the power of self-love as the starting point of all genuine transformation. It speaks of the real and concrete possibility that any person, regardless of their history or their past or the wounds they carry, can begin today, in this very instant, to create a different life. A more loving, more abundant, and more healthy and more fulfilling life. And that is exactly what we are going to do together today. Because this is not just another positive affirmations video, this is a path of wisdom. It is a profound invitation for you to pause and breathe and allow these words to enter not only through your ears, but through your heart. To receive them for what they are, gifts of love and seeds of light and opportunities to heal. And as you listen, I ask that you do not judge them with the rational mind that seeks proof and evidence. I ask that you receive them with that part of you that still believes in the magic of life, that part that knows you deserve love and that knows you can heal and that knows life has something beautiful prepared for you if you allow yourself to receive it. So breathe deeply and release your shoulders and let your body relax and join me on this journey of 101 affirmations that are 101 seeds of love we are going to plant together in the garden of your mind. Affirmations that cover every area of your life, your health and your self-love, and your capacity to forgive, and your relationship with abundance, and your bonds with others, and your life purpose, and your inner peace, and your connection with something greater than yourself. Let us begin with self-love, because Louise Hay always said that self-love is the foundation upon which everything else is built. That when you learn to love yourself, your relationship with money improves and your health improves and your relationships improve and your work improves. Everything improves. Because you are the common denominator of all your experiences. And if the relationship with yourself is wounded, then everything you build upon that wound will have cracks. So the first affirmation I offer you today, the one that is the heart of everything that follows, is this: I love myself and I accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. Not when I lose weight, not when I have more money, not when I find a partner, not when I get the job I want. Now, in this precise instant, with my imperfections and my fears and my mistakes and my wounds, I love myself and I accept myself and I embrace myself, because I am a being worthy of love simply by existing. And that is the greatest truth you can know about yourself. The second affirmation I give you today is, I deserve the best and I accept it now into my life. I do not seek it with desperation. I do not ask for it with fear. I accept it, because accepting is different from receiving passively. To accept is to open yourself, to tell the universe you are ready, to say that the door of your heart is open and that you will no longer block the abundance that life wants to give you with beliefs of scarcity and unworthiness. I deserve the best and I accept it now. Repeat it in your mind as you hear these words. Feel it in your body. Notice if there is any resistance, any inner voice that says, no, you do not deserve this. And if that voice appears, do not fight it. Simply look at it with compassion, because that voice is only an old story, a seed someone planted long ago. And today you can choose not to water it any further. The third affirmation touches your health, because the body hears everything you think. The body stores in its cells the memories of every emotion you have ever lived. And when you learn to speak to it with love, when you stop attacking it and criticizing it and feeling ashamed of it, the body begins to respond in surprising ways. My body is my most faithful ally. I love it and honor it and care for it. Every cell in my body is filled with light and with health, My body knows exactly how to heal, and I allow it to do so with grace and with ease. Feel the relief that comes from stopping the war against your own body, from ceasing to see it as the enemy and beginning to see it as the sacred home of your soul. Because that is what it is. Assume it is the most precious temple you have, and it deserves all your love and all your gratitude. If these words are touching something deep in you, if you feel your heart opening as you listen, I invite you right now to leave a comment with just one word that describes how you feel in this moment. It could be peace, or love, or hope, or gratitude, or healing, any word that is born in your heart right now. Because your comment is not only for you, it is a gift for every person who arrives in this space looking for exactly what you are finding here. Every word you write nourishes this community of healing and growth, and together we create an energy of love that expands far beyond a screen and a video. Let us now move to the affirmations of forgiveness, because forgiveness is perhaps the most revolutionary and the most liberating act a human being can perform, and yet it is also one of the most difficult. Because many times we confuse forgiveness with approval. We think that to forgive means saying that what was done to us was acceptable, that the harm was not real, that the pain does not matter. But Louise Hay taught us that forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person. Forgiveness is about you. It is the act of releasing the burden you have carried for far too long, of freeing the resentment that, like a slow poison, has been consuming your vital energy and your health and your joy and your capacity to love. And when you forgive, you do not do a favor to the one who hurt you. You give yourself the greatest gift you can give yourself, the gift of freedom. The fourth affirmation I offer you is, I choose to forgive everyone who has ever hurt me, not because what they did was right, but because I deserve to live in peace. I choose to release them with love, and I free myself from every chain of the past. Feel the weight that lifts from your shoulders when you say those words, when you say them sincerely, when you say them as a conscious choice and not as an obligation. Forgiveness is not a feeling you have to wait for to arrive. Forgiveness is a decision you make first in your mind, and the feeling follows afterwards. Sometimes immediately, sometimes little by little, but it always comes when the decision is genuine. The fifth affirmation goes even deeper, because sometimes the most difficult person to forgive is not another person, but yourself. I forgive myself completely for every mistake I have ever made. I forgive myself for the times I was not enough, for the times I failed, for the decisions I made from fear or from unconsciousness. I forgive myself and I set myself free, because I did the best I could with what I had in that moment. And now I know more, and with that new knowing, I rise and I grow, from love rather than from guilt. This is perhaps the affirmation that generates the most resistance. Because many of us have learned that guilt is a way of being accountable, that if we do not punish ourselves, then we are being irresponsible. But guilt does not make you a better person. It only paralyzes you. It only keeps you trapped in the past. Whereas self-forgiveness sets you free towards the future, it allows you to learn from mistakes without remaining their prisoner. It allows you to grow from compassion rather than from punishment. Let us now move to the affirmations of abundance and prosperity, because this is an area where many people carry deeply limiting beliefs learned in childhood and heard repeatedly in their environment and internalized as absolute truths that they now reproduce in their lives without realizing it. Beliefs such as money is bad and wealthy people are selfish, and I am not good at business and money always slips through my fingers, and prosperity is for others but not for me. And these beliefs, though they may seem small, are invisible walls that block the natural flow of abundance in your life, because the universe is abundant by nature. Nature never runs short of flowers or trees or stars or oceans. Scarcity is a human belief, not a law of the universe. And when you change that belief, when you open your mind and your heart to the possibility of prosperity, something in the universe responds. The sixth affirmation I offer you is, I am a magnet for abundance and prosperity. Money flows to me easily and constantly. I deserve to be prosperous. I deserve abundance in all its forms, and I receive it with gratitude and with joy. Feel those words in your body. Notice how comfortable or uncomfortable you feel saying them. Because that discomfort is precisely the signal of where your limiting beliefs live, and those beliefs are what you are beginning to transform today. The seventh affirmation expands the vision of abundance beyond money. The abundance in my life is not only financial, it is abundance of love and health and friendship and opportunity and time and joy and creativity and peace. I am rich in every sense of the word, and I give thanks for that. Because Louise Hay always insisted that gratitude is the multiplier of abundance. That when you are aware of what you already have and you celebrate it and you give thanks for it, the universe interprets that gratitude as a signal that you are ready to receive more. The eighth affirmation touches the relationship with work and purpose. I do what I love, and I am abundantly rewarded for it. My work is an expression of my creativity and my unique gifts, and through it I serve the world whilst also serving myself, because when your work is aligned with your purpose, when what you do reflects who you are and what you value, you no longer feel that you are working in the exhausting sense of the word. You feel that you are contributing and creating and being true to the reason you came into this world. And speaking of purpose, the following affirmations are directed precisely there, to the heart of why you are here. Because every human being arrives in this world with unique gifts and a particular contribution that only they can make, and a path that only they can walk. And yet many of us live without having found that purpose, or we have found it, but fear has prevented us from embracing it fully. And so we live halfway, fulfilling what is expected of us, but without the spark of someone who knows exactly why they are here. The ninth affirmation opens that door. I know my life purpose, and I live it with courage and with joy. I am here for a unique and sacred reason, and every day I align more deeply with that reason. I am a channel of love and creativity and healing and wisdom, and my presence in this world matters and makes a difference. Feel it in your heart, because it is true. Your presence matters, what you do matters, what you are matters, far more than you perhaps allow yourself to believe. The 10th affirmation reinforces that conviction. I am exactly who I need to be in this moment of my life. I am in the right place at the right time. Everything in my life unfolds perfectly for my growth and my evolution. I trust the process of life. I trust the universe. I trust that every experience I have lived, even the most difficult ones, has had a purpose on my path. And that trust gives me peace and serenity and the ability to face any challenge from a place of equanimity rather than terror. Are you feeling how something in you is opening? Are you feeling that gentle expansion in your chest, that sense that there is more space inside than you thought? That is self-love taking form. That is the universe responding to you. If this message is touching your heart, I invite you to give this video a like. It is your way of telling the universe that yes, you are ready to receive more love and more healing and more transformation in your life. And subscribe to this channel if you have not yet done so, because here we will continue creating together this sacred space of growth and affirmations and emotional healing and spirituality that will accompany you at every stage of your journey. Continuing on this path of wisdom, we now come to the affirmations of relationships and love, because relationships are perhaps the clearest mirror we have of our own inner psychology, of our beliefs and our fears and our capacity to give and receive love. And Louise Hay said that the relationship you have with others is always a reflection of the relationship you have with yourself. That if you reject yourself, you will attract people who reject you. That if you value yourself, you will attract people who value you. That if you treat yourself with love and respect, others will treat you the same way. And that does not mean you are responsible for the behavior of others. It means that when you change your inner relationship with yourself, the entire universe of people and situations that surrounds you also changes. The 11th affirmation is, I deserve loving and respectful and nourishing relationships. I attract into my life people who see me and value me and support me and love me genuinely. And I offer the same in return. Because love is a circle, a flow that gives and receives in equal measure. And in that flow, I find my greatest joy. The 12th affirmation works with loneliness and abandonment. I am never alone. I am always connected to the love of the universe, to the presence of divine love that dwells in me and around me. And from that place of inner fullness, I seek connection with others, not from need but from abundance. So because there is an enormous difference between relating from lack, seeking the other to fill what is missing in us, and relating from fullness, offering and receiving love between two people who are already whole within themselves. The 13th affirmation is, I express myself with clarity and love and authenticity. I say what I need to say with respect and with courage. I listen with attention and with empathy, and my relationships grow and deepen through honest and loving communication. Because one of the deepest roots of suffering in relationships is unexpressed communication. The words swallowed out of fear of rejection, the needs silenced out of fear of being a burden, the truths hidden out of fear of conflict. And those unexpressed words do not disappear. They accumulate and generate resentment and distance, and eventually destroy what could have been beautiful. As the 14th affirmation addresses family relationships, which are often the most complex and the most loaded with history. I love my family with a free and unconditional love, and at the same time I allow myself to establish healthy boundaries that protect my peace and my well-being. Love does not require that I lose myself. True love includes self-love, and from that self-love I can love others in a far more genuine and sustainable way. Well, we now move to the affirmations of mental peace and emotional balance, because in a world that constantly bombards us with stimuli and urgencies and demands for attention and productivity, inner peace has become a scarce and enormously valuable commodity, and yet it is also your natural state. It is what remains when you stop fighting, when you stop resisting, when you stop running towards the future or ruminating on the past, and you simply allow yourself to be here in this moment. Breathe. I think the 15th affirmation is, I have an inner peace that no external circumstance can disturb. That peace lives at the center of my being, always available, always accessible. When the outer world becomes turbulent, I return to that center of peace, and from there, I respond with wisdom and with love. The 16th affirmation works with anxiety and fear. I release all anxiety about the future. I trust that life gives me exactly what I need at the exact moment I need it. I do not need to control everything to feel safe. I am safe simply because I am loved by the universe. And that safety does not depend on circumstances. It does not depend on what happens outside. It depends on the relationship I have with my own inner being. The 17th affirmation is a gift for difficult moments. When life presents me with challenges, I see them as growth opportunities in disguise. I know that every obstacle I overcome makes me stronger and wiser and more compassionate. And I give thanks for the challenges as much as for the blessings, because both are teachers on my path. Because life does not give us trials to destroy us. It gives us trials to reveal the strength that was already inside us, waiting to be discovered. The 18th affirmation cultivates equanimity. I am capable of facing any situation with calm and clarity and grace. I do not allow myself to be swept away by emotional storms. I am the sky that contains the clouds, not the cloud itself. And I can observe my emotions without being consumed by them. I can feel them fully and then release them, like clouds passing through the infinite sky of my awareness. And here we arrive at a very important point on this journey, that of spiritual connection. And because Louise Hay always spoke of a greater intelligence that sustains us, a loving presence that inhabits everything and everyone, that she sometimes called the universe and sometimes the higher power and sometimes divine love, and that each person can name with whatever name resonates with their own experience and their own spiritual tradition. But beyond the name, the essence is the same. There is something greater than ourselves, something that created us and sustains us, something that loves us with a depth the human mind can barely conceive. And to connect with that presence is to connect with the source of all healing and all abundance and all peace. The 19th affirmation opens that connection. I am connected to the infinite intelligence of the universe, the same force that moves the stars and causes trees to bloom flows through me. And I am part of something immense and sacred. And in that connection, I find strength and wisdom and love and guidance at every step of my path. The 20th affirmation deepens that connection. I trust the divine guidance that speaks to me through intuition and synchronicities, and through the people and situations that appear in my life. I am always guided and always protected and always loved by the universe. And that certainty fills my heart with gratitude and with trust. If you have come this far on this journey, if you have been allowing these words to land in your heart, I invite you to pause and write in the comments which of these affirmations has resonated most deeply with you, which one you feel you need most in this moment of your life. Share it in your own words if you wish, or simply write the number of the affirmation. What matters is that you take a moment to ask yourself what your soul most needs to hear today, and that you share it with this community of people who, like you, are on this path of growth and healing, because your voice matters and your experience matters and your participation enriches this space we build together. Let us continue now with affirmations 21 through 50, because this path of wisdom is only at its midpoint, and there is so much more love and light and healing waiting in the words ahead. The 21st affirmation is, I give thanks for this present moment because it is the only place where life truly occurs. I am completely present, completely alive, completely aware of the wonder of existing. The 22nd affirmation works with self-esteem. I value myself deeply, and I recognize my talents and my gifts and my intelligence and my creativity and my kindness. I do not need anyone's approval to know that I am valuable. My worth is intrinsic. It is part of what I am, not what I do or what others think of me. The 23rd affirmation is for moments of doubt. When I doubt myself, I remember that the universe created me with a purpose, that I am not an accident, that my existence has a profound meaning. And from that certainty, I find the strength to carry on even when the path is unclear. The 24th affirmation works with the relationship with the body. I love my body exactly as it is today. I care for it with nourishing food and joyful movement and restorative rest and loving thoughts that heal it from within. My body is a reflection of how I treat myself, and I choose to treat myself with love. The 25th affirmation is about creativity. I am a deeply creative being. Creativity flows through me naturally and abundantly. I have new ideas and original solutions and unique ways of seeing and expressing the world. My creativity is a gift I offer with joy. The 26th affirmation works with fear of change. I embrace change as a natural expression of growth. What no longer serves me leaves my life with ease and with grace. And what arrives in its place is always better. always more aligned with who I truly am. And because life is a river that flows, and resisting the flow produces only suffering, whilst surrendering to it produces peace. The 27th affirmation is about self-compassion. I treat myself with the same kindness and understanding I would offer a dear friend. When I make mistakes, I do not attack myself or punish myself. I embrace myself and I learn, and I carry on with more wisdom and more love. And the 28th affirmation works with the present. This moment is sacred and perfect exactly as it is. I do not need anything to be different to be at peace. I find beauty and meaning and gratitude in exactly what is right now. The 29th affirmation is about resilience. I have the ability to overcome any adversity. Each time life knocks me down, I rise stronger and wiser and more compassionate. I am a tree with deep roots that can bend in the storm without ever breaking. The 30th affirmation is about openness. I am open to receiving the abundance of the universe in all its forms. I release the resistances and the defenses and the walls I built out of fear. And I open myself with trust and with joy to all the good that life has for me. The 31st affirmation works with gratitude. I live in a constant state of gratitude, and I give thanks for my life and my health and the people I love and the opportunities that present themselves and the challenges that make me grow and the beauty that surrounds me at every moment. Gratitude is my constant prayer and my natural state of being. The 32nd affirmation is about joy. I allow myself to feel joy without guilt, without fear that it will end, without waiting for everything to be perfectly ordered in my life before being happy. Joy is a choice I make now in this moment, regardless of circumstances. The 33rd affirmation works with money from a new perspective. Money is a neutral energy that I use to create good in my life and in the lives of others. I do not fear money or reject it. I receive it with gratitude and manage it with wisdom, and my prosperity allows me to be more generous and to contribute more to this world. The 34th affirmation is about mental health. My mind is clear and strong and balanced. I choose thoughts that nourish me and elevate me. I have the ability to release thoughts that do not serve me and to always choose more loving and more constructive thoughts. My mind is a garden that I tend with attention and with love. The 35th affirmation works with self-knowledge. I know myself deeply. I know my strengths and I know my areas of growth. I accept myself completely in both. And from that honest and compassionate self-knowledge, I continue evolving towards the best version of myself. The 36th affirmation is about dreams. My dreams are valid and deserve to be pursued. I have the courage to follow my dreams even when the path is unclear, even when others do not understand them, even when I myself sometimes doubt. I trust that the universe supports my deepest dreams because they are aligned with my truest purpose. And the 37th affirmation works with trust in life. Life always works in my favor, even when I cannot see how, even when circumstances appear adverse. I know that everything is conspiring for my greatest good, and that faith gives me the peace and the serenity I need to keep moving forward. The 38th affirmation is about authentic expression. I express myself authentically in every area of my life. I do not hide, I do not minimize myself. But I do not make myself small so that others feel more comfortable. I am fully myself, with all my light and all my depth and all my uniqueness. And that authenticity is my greatest gift to the world. The 39th affirmation works with compassion towards others. I see every human being with compassion and with love. I understand that we all carry wounds, that we all do the best we can with what we have. And from that deep understanding, I relate to others from love rather than from judgment. The 40th affirmation is about time. I have enough time for everything that truly matters. I do not live in urgency or in hurry. I move through life with calm and with purpose, and everything that needs to be done is done at the perfect moment. The 41st affirmation works with intuition. I trust my intuition. I trust that soft and wise voice that speaks from within, that knows things the rational mind cannot see, that guides me with precision and with love. And when I listen to it and follow it, my life flows with an extraordinary ease and grace. The 42nd affirmation is about success. I have my own definition of success, and I pursue it with enthusiasm and with peace. My success is not determined by the expectations of others or by comparisons with those around me. It is determined by how faithful I am to my path and my values and my deepest purpose. The 43rd affirmation works with generosity. I give with joy and with freedom because I know there is no scarcity in the universe, and every time I give, genuinely the universe returns it to me multiplied. Generosity is my nature and my daily practice. The 44th affirmation is about serenity. I have serenity in the face of what I cannot control. I accept with grace what is. I work with wisdom on what I can change, and I have the wisdom to distinguish between the two. That equanimity is my shield and my strength in difficult moments. The 45th affirmation is about the body with love. I am a complete and beautiful sexual and sensory being. I accept and celebrate my body and my sensuality and my capacity to give and receive pleasure with love and respect. There is nothing in my nature of which I need to feel ashamed. I am a beautiful expression of life. The 46th affirmation is about nature. I feel deeply connected to nature, to the earth that sustains me, and the sky that covers me, and the water that purifies me, and the fire that transforms me. I am part of this sacred ecosystem, and I live in harmony with it. The 47th affirmation works with rest. I allow myself to rest without guilt, without the constant pressure to produce or to be useful or to be active. Rest is sacred, silence is sacred, stillness is sacred. And in it I restore myself and renew myself and fill myself with life. The 48th affirmation is about the past. I have healed my relationship with the past. I look at it with compassion and with gratitude because it has made me who I am today. I no longer carry the past as a chain, but as a story of growth that gives me perspective and wisdom. The 49th affirmation works with the future. The future unfolding before me is full of beautiful possibilities. Why? I look at it with hope and with enthusiasm. I know that the best of my life is yet to come, and from that genuine optimism I take confident steps in the direction of my dreams. The 50th affirmation is a bridge between everything we have covered and what remains ahead. I am a being in constant evolution. I grow every day, and I learn every day, and I transform every day. And in that process of growth, I find my greatest joy and my greatest purpose and my greatest contribution to the world. Do you feel how something is building inside you as we move through these affirmations? Do you feel how the words are leaving a different imprint from the thoughts that normally circulate through your mind? That is the magic of affirmations. They are not merely beautiful words, they are instructions you give to your subconscious. They are reprogrammings of the belief system that has been operating on autopilot. They are seeds of a new reality that begins to take shape in the invisible before manifesting in the visible. And if this path is resonating with you, if you feel you want to keep receiving this kind of healing and growth message, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and to activate the bell notification so you do not miss any of the videos we publish. Because here we await you each time with more love and more wisdom and more tools to accompany you on your journey of transformation. But we now enter the second half of these 101 affirmations. In this part of the path, we are going to go deeper into perhaps less explored areas, into the deepest truths of your being. into the affirmations that touch the most intimate corners of your soul, the ones you may never have heard before, the ones that may move you in ways you did not expect. So breathe deeply and remain in that state of openness and receptivity and receive what comes. The 51st affirmation is about inner companionship. I find companionship within myself. I enjoy my own presence and my own thoughts and my own company. I am a good friend to myself. And from that friendship with myself, I relate to others from wholeness rather than from emptiness. Yay? The 52nd affirmation works with envy. When I see the success of others, I rejoice genuinely because I know that the success of others does not diminish my own possibilities, but expands them, that in the universe there is enough for everyone, and that another person's abundance is proof that abundance is possible for me as well. The 53rd affirmation is about comparison. I stop comparing myself to others because my path is unique and incomparable. But what I live and what I am and what I create has no equivalent in any other human being. And that uniqueness is my most precious treasure. The 54th affirmation works with criticism. When others criticize me, I listen with openness to what may be useful and I release what is not. I do not crumble at criticism or inflate at praise. I have a stable and loving relationship with myself that does not depend on the opinion of others. But the 55th affirmation is about vulnerability. I allow myself to be vulnerable. I allow myself not to know. I allow myself to ask for help and to show my emotions. Because vulnerability is not weakness, it is the most courageous way to connect with other human beings from authenticity. The 56th affirmation works with grief and loss. I honor my losses and my grief with compassion and with space. I allow myself to feel the pain of what is no longer here. And at the same time, I know that the love I felt never dies. It transforms and evolves. And the act of loving is in itself the greatest victory over loss. The 57th affirmation is about identity. I know who I am beyond the roles I play, beyond my profession and my family and my history. At the center of my being, there is a silent and pure and luminous witness that observes everything with equanimity and with love, and that is what I truly am. And the 58th affirmation works with faith. I have faith in the fundamental goodness of life, not a blind faith that denies pain, but a mature faith that has looked pain in the face and found in it also meaning and growth and love. That faith is my anchor in the moments of storm. The 59th affirmation is about service. I find deep satisfaction in serving others, in contributing to their well-being, in being an instrument of love in the world. And that service comes not from exhaustion or from sacrifice, but from fullness, from the overflow of someone who has so much love they cannot help but share it. The 60th affirmation works with surrender. I release the need to control the outcome of my actions. I do my best with love and with intention, and then I trust that the universe will take what I have given and carry it where it needs to go. Because there is a greater intelligence than mine operating in this universe, and I align myself with it. The 61st affirmation is about creative self-expression. I express myself through art and writing and music and movement, and through whatever form allows me to externalize what lives within me. And that expression is sacred. It is my offering to the world. It is the trace of love I leave in my passage through this life. The 62nd affirmation works with boundaries. I establish clear and loving boundaries in my relationships, not from fear, but from respect for myself and for others. Boundaries do not push love away. They protect it and define it and make it sustainable. And from healthy boundaries, I am able to love much more deeply. The 63rd affirmation is about self-trust. I trust my own decisions and my own wisdom and my own ability to discern what is good for me. And I do not need the constant validation of others to know I am on the right path. I trust myself. The 64th affirmation works with laughter.
and lightness. I allow myself to laugh. I allow myself to be light. I allow myself not to take everything so seriously. There is enormous beauty in the ability to find humor in life, to laugh at myself with love, to not cling to seriousness as though it were a virtue. The 65th affirmation is about learning. I am an eternal student of life.
Every experience and every person and every book and every conversation and every dream and every failure and every success is an opportunity to learn something new about myself and about the world. And that attitude of learning keeps me alive and curious and in constant growth. The 66th affirmation works with the connection to the inner source. Within me there is an inexhaustible source of peace and love and wisdom and strength that I can access at any moment simply by directing my attention inward, simply by breathing deeply and remembering who I am beyond all the stories. The 67th affirmation is about the present as the point of power. The present is the only place where I have real power. Not in the past I cannot change, and not in the future that does not yet exist, but in this moment and in this breath and in this choice I make right now. And in that point of power I settle with awareness and with love. The 68th affirmation works with resistance. I stop resisting what is, and in that surrender I find not defeat but a profound peace. Because resistance consumes energy and creates suffering and closes doors, whilst acceptance opens the heart and clears the way for genuine transformation. The 69th affirmation is about the flow of life. I allow myself to flow with the current of life. I trust that it knows where it is taking me. And though at times the river runs fast and loud, I know that water always finds its way to the sea, and I too find my way to fulfillment. But the 70th affirmation works with authenticity in relationships. I attract into my life relationships that allow me to be authentic, where I do not need to wear masks or perform to be accepted, where I can show myself exactly as I am and be loved precisely for that. And I offer the same to those around me. Yet the 71st affirmation is about universal love. I feel love for all living beings, not only for those close to me, but for all of humanity and for animals and for plants and for the earth and for the cosmos. That expansive love connects me with something far greater than my small ego and fills me with a sense of belonging and of purpose. The 72nd affirmation works with humility. I am humble without being servile. I recognize that I do not know everything, that there is always more to learn, that others have valuable perspectives that enrich my own, and that humility does not make me small but makes me great because it keeps me open and growing. The 73rd affirmation is about courage. I have the courage to live by my own truths, to say yes when I want to say yes and no when I want to say no, to take calculated risks in the direction of my dreams, to show myself exactly as I am even when it is frightening. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. The 74th affirmation works with self-compassion in difficult moments. When I'm going through a hard time, I do not demand that I be fine.
I allow myself to be where I am. I accompany myself with compassion. I treat myself with the gentleness I would offer a child who is suffering. And I trust that this moment too shall pass. The 75th affirmation is about clarity. I have clarity about my values and my priorities and my boundaries. And from that clarity, I make decisions aligned with who I am and who I want to be. I do not allow myself to be carried away by social pressure or the expectations of others. I act from my center.
But do you know what you're doing right now as you listen to these affirmations? You're reprogramming your mind. You are creating new neural pathways. You are planting seeds that in the days and weeks and months ahead will bear fruit in the form of new attitudes and new decisions and new experiences. Modern neuroscience confirms what Louise Hay intuited through her wisdom, that thoughts repeated with emotion literally change the structure of the brain. And you are doing that sacred work of inner transformation right now. And if you want to keep nourishing that process, I invite you to leave in the comments the affirmation that has resonated most with you so far. Write it in your own words, personalize it, make it yours. Because when you write it and articulate it and share it, you give it more strength and more presence and more power in your life. And then you also inspire other people who in this moment may be exactly where you were before you began this path. We continue now with affirmations 76 through 90, moving into the deepest territories of spiritual transformation. The 76th affirmation is about finding the sacred in the everyday. I find the sacred in the simplest acts of daily life, in a cup of tea and in the sunrise, and in the laughter of a child, and in the silence of the night, and in the beauty of a flower. All of life is a sacred celebration, and I participate in it with full awareness and with gratitude. The 77th affirmation works with non-attachment. I am capable of loving deeply without clinging, of having without possessing, of giving without demanding in return. Non-attachment is not indifference, it is the most mature and the most free form of love. Comes the 78th affirmation is about inner energetic balance. I am in touch with the intuitive and receptive and wise energy within me. I honor both my capacity for action and my capacity for stillness, both my strength and my tenderness. And in the balance of those energies, I find my greatest power. The 79th affirmation works with the healing of childhood wounds. I wrap with love and compassion the child I once was. I tell that child I see them, I love them, they are not alone, and that what they lived was not their fault. And now from my adult awareness, I can give that child the security and the love and the validation they perhaps did not receive in their time. That inner healing is one of the deepest and most transformative we can perform. The 80th affirmation is about creativity as spiritual practice. When I create, I become a channel for something greater than myself. Our creativity is a form of prayer, a way of participating the continuous act of creation of the universe. And when I allow myself to create freely, without judging myself or censoring myself, I experience a joy and a fulfillment that very few other things can equal. But the 81st affirmation works with the fear of death. I do not fear the end of this cycle because I know that consciousness is continuous and that love does not die, that the essential nature of what I am transcends the physical body, and from that understanding I can live fully, without the weight of fear of the end, enjoying each moment as the gift it is. The 82nd affirmation is about interdependence. I recognize that I am part of a sacred web of life where everything is connected with that my actions have consequences beyond what I can see, that my well-being is intrinsically connected to the well-being of others and of the planet. And from that awareness, I act with responsibility and with love. The 83rd affirmation works with ancestral forgiveness. I release my family from the patterns of pain and fear and limitation that have passed from generation to generation. I am the link in the chain that chooses to break those patterns with love. And in me begins a new story of freedom and healing and abundance that those who come after me will inherit. The 84th affirmation is about gratitude as daily practice. Every morning when I awaken, I give thanks for a new day, for the opportunity to love more, and to grow more, and to contribute more. Gratitude is the first thought I choose in each new day and the last before I sleep. The 85th affirmation works with the capacity to receive. I open myself to receiving because receiving with grace is as sacred as giving. I do not block the gifts of the universe with the false modesty of one who says, I do not deserve this. I deserve it. I am worthy. And I receive with an open heart and with deep gratitude The 86th affirmation is about alignment. My thoughts and my words and my actions are aligned. I do not say one thing and think another and do a third. I live with integrity and with coherence and with authenticity. And that alignment is the source of my greatest power and my greatest peace. The 87th affirmation works with the eternal present. In this moment, I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. The race towards not yet, and when I have, and when I become, ends here. In this present that has always been and will always be the only real home. The 88th affirmation is about the transformation of pain. Every wound I have lived has the potential to become wisdom, compassion, deep understanding that allows me to help others. Nothing I have suffered has been in vain. Everything has been formative and everything has made me who I am. The 89th affirmation works with romantic love from a healthy place. In my romantic relationships, I arrive from wholeness. I do not seek in the other my missing half because I am not broken. I am whole. And from that wholeness, I find the other as a companion in growth and in love. An encounter of two suns that illuminate one another without extinguishing each other. The 90th affirmation is a bridge towards the close of this path. Every day I live is an opportunity to be more faithful to myself, to love more deeply, to contribute more generously, to grow more consciously, and I choose to seize that opportunity with everything that I am. We are approaching the end of this path of wisdom. And before the final 11 affirmations, I want to remind you of something that Louise Hay repeated again and again throughout her entire life. That working with affirmations is not a one-day act, it is a practice. It is a garden that needs to be watered every day, that needs you to return to it even when you are tired or doubtful or results are not immediate. Because deep transformation does not happen overnight, while it happens in consistency or in the daily love you give yourself through the deliberate choice of more loving and more expansive thoughts and words and beliefs aligned with the best version of yourself. And if today is the first day you are working with affirmations, then welcome. You have arrived at the right place. And if you have been on this path for some time, then this video is a reminder of why you began and why it is worth continuing. The 91st affirmation is, I am the love I seek. All the love I long for already lives within me, and in recognizing it and honoring it and expressing it, I multiply it and radiate it to the world. The 92nd affirmation works with healing the body with love. I command every cell in my body to fill with health and vitality and light. My body heals quickly and completely. I have a strong immune system and a clear mind and abundant vital energy. While the 93rd affirmation is about peace with money, I have a healthy and loving relationship with money. I respect it and manage it with wisdom and earn it with integrity and share it with joy. Money is an instrument of freedom and of service in my hands. The 94th affirmation works with the ultimate purpose. I live a life of meaning. Every day I rise knowing why I am here. And that clarity of purpose gives me energy and enthusiasm and direction and the deep satisfaction of knowing that my life matters. The 95th affirmation is about love for humanity. I love humanity in all its forms, in all its cultures and all its colors and all its stories. We are one human family navigating this beautiful planet, and my love extends to every corner of this family. The 96th affirmation works with reconciliation with time. Time is my ally, not my enemy. While it does not press me or pursue me, there is enough time for everything that truly matters, and I live each moment with presence and with awareness of its unique and unrepeatable value. The 97th affirmation is about connection with the universe. I am a unique and sacred expression of the universe, made of the same matter as the stars, carrying the same consciousness that permeates all existence. And in that understanding, I find a profound humility and at the same time a greatness that has no limits. The 98th affirmation works with forgiveness as the final gift. Today I choose to forgive completely, to forgive everything and everyone, including myself. Not because it is easy, but because it is the most liberating act I can perform, and because I deserve to live a life without the weight of resentment and without the chains of the past, free and light and full of love and hope. The 99th affirmation is about love as a response. In the face of any situation, any challenge, any person, my first response is love. It is not always easy and it is not always immediate, but it is the response I choose to cultivate with awareness and with daily practice. The 100th affirmation is the one that Louise Hay placed at the heart of all her work. I love myself and I approve of myself exactly as I am in this moment. So those 6 words contain all the wisdom and all the healing power and all the transformative magic of her teaching. I love myself and I approve of myself, not conditionally and not eventually, but now, here, exactly as I am, with everything that I am. And the 101st affirmation, the last on this path of wisdom, is the one that contains all the others. I am a being of light and love and infinite possibilities. I come from life and I live in life and I return to life.
Everything in me is perfect, and everything in me is sacred, and everything in me is love. And from that love I create and serve and grow and heal and contribute to the beautiful symphony of existence. You have reached the end of this path of 101 affirmations.
And if something has changed in you as you walked it, if you feel something different in your body and your heart and your breath and your relationship with yourself in this moment, that change is real and that change matters. And that change is the beginning of something new and beautiful in your life. And you deserve to celebrate it. You deserve to recognize it. You deserve to tell yourself that today you have taken a brave and loving step in the direction of your own transformation. Because that is what you have done. It is not a small thing. It is enormous. It is everything. Louise Hay lived to 91 years of age, and until the very end of her days, she continued believing with everything she had in the power of self-love to heal anything, to transform any situation, to create any reality the human heart is capable of conceiving. And that faith was not naive or blind. It was the faith of someone who had lived it in their own flesh, who had healed a cancer that doctors considered terminal through the work of self-love and forgiveness, who had transformed a life of trauma and pain into an existence of joy and purpose and extraordinary service to the world.
And her entire life tells us something worth remembering and always, that no matter where you come from, and no matter what you have lived, and no matter how old you are or how many times you have tried to change without succeeding, it is always possible to begin again. It is always possible to choose love over fear. It is always possible to plant new seeds in the garden of your mind and wait with patience and with faith for them to blossom into a more beautiful life. So today, when you close this video, when you return to the activities of your day, take with you at least one of these affirmations, just one,
The one that has resonated most with you, the one you feel you need most, and repeat it throughout the day. Repeat it when you brush your teeth, and when you drive, and when you wait in a queue, and when you feel anxiety or fear or doubt. Repeat it like a mantra and like a prayer and like a seed you water again each time you remember it. And with time and with consistency and with love, you will see how that seed grows, how that affirmation ceases to be a phrase you repeat and becomes a truth you live, a reality you inhabit, a way of being that no longer requires effort because it has become your deepest nature. Thank you for accompanying me on this path of wisdom. Thank you for having dedicated this time to yourself, to your healing, and your growth and your self-love. Because in a world that constantly asks us to look outward and to measure ourselves against others and to run towards the next achievement, to stop and look inward with love is an act of enormous courage and wisdom. And you have done that today, and that honors you greatly. If this video has been a gift to you, if you feel that these 101 affirmations have planted something valuable in your mind and in your heart, I ask you from my heart to share it with someone who needs it, with a friend or a family member or someone you see suffering, who perhaps just needs to hear that they can heal and that they can change and that they deserve love. Because the most beautiful chain we can create between human beings is the chain of love, where each one passes to the next, a little light and a little hope, and a little of the certainty that transformation is possible and that no one has to walk this path alone. And before you go, I invite you one last time to leave in the comments a word of gratitude or an affirmation of what you are taking from here, or an intention you are setting for the days ahead. Anything you wish to share with this community of souls in growth, because this space is yours. And it belongs to everyone who arrives here seeking the same thing. A little more love and a little more peace and a little more certainty that we are enough, that we deserve what we dream of, that we have the power to create the life we desire beginning from within.
And I also invite you to subscribe if you have not yet done so, and to activate the bell so you keep receiving these messages of healing and positive affirmations and wisdom that we publish for you and for this entire community with all the love in the world. Until the next path and the next encounter, take great care of yourself and love yourself deeply. Remember always that you deserve all the good that life has to give you, and that good begins in the moment you choose to believe it. As Louise Hay always said, all is well in my world, all is well. And that phrase, so simple in appearance and so profound in its essence, is perhaps the greatest gift she left us. Not a denial of reality and not an illusion that everything is perfect, but a declaration of radical trust in the process of life. An affirmation that even in the midst of chaos and pain and confusion and darkness, there is a greater intelligence operating, an order that we cannot always see, but that is always there.
And when we learn to trust that order, when we learn to release the need for everything to be exactly as we believe it should be, we find a peace that transcends all human understanding. A peace that has no name, but that we have all tasted in some moment. In those instants of grace where time stands still and we simply know, with every atom of our being, that all is well, and all has always been well, and all will continue to be well.
Beyond appearances and beyond fears and beyond the stories our egos build to make us believe we are alone, or in danger, or not enough. All is well. You are well. And from that fundamental well-being, from that peace that already lives within you waiting to be discovered, you can build the most beautiful life you have ever imagined.
Step by step, and affirmation by affirmation, and thought of love by thought of love. Until one day you wake up and realize that the garden of your mind is in full bloom, that the seeds you planted with love and with faith have borne fruit more abundant and more beautiful than you ever dared to hope. And in that moment you will remember this path you walked today, these 101 affirmations that resonated in your heart. And you will smile. Because you will know that it was here, in this moment of openness and of love, that everything began, everything good and everything new and everything true that is coming into your life.